One thing that I loved was Iñigo Martínez getting a goal and the passion that he exuded. I believe it was his first Champions League goal, and
maybe
we were already up 2-3-0 at that point. I think Iñigo was the third goal, so I think that was his first Champions League goal, and you could see how much it meant to him. And he's bringing that energy, he's bringing that attitude every match for Barcelona. He knows that this is the twilight of his career. He knows that this is his biggest opportunity, and he's playing with so much passion, so much commitment. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, he's been one of Barca's best players so far this season, Iñigo Martínez. I'm actually glad you brought him up, John, because maybe we haven't given him like a little segment on the podcast up until now. How good has Iñigo Martínez been for Barca, by the way? Because that's pretty one of the positions we thought this season we'd struggle with, and him and Pau Cubarsí have been flawless. Cubarsí, we almost like forget that he's 17 still, and just expect him to perform like an 8 out of 10 every week, which he does, which is ridiculous. But Iñigo Martínez, I mean, has come in. I'm personally a fan of the player. I always was, but I admit that I didn't expect him to be this good. He's playing like one of the best centre-backs in the league. I'm quite surprised he hasn't been called up for Spain. Yeah. I'm glad he hasn't because he's 33. But I'm surprised that Luis de la Fuente hasn't taken him for Spain with the injuries they've got. I know they've got Laporta and Pau Torres, I suppose, for left centre-backs, but still.
Is that... I think that for Spain is difficult right now to count on Iñigo Martínez to like build something for the future,
Yeah.
So it's like he's maybe taking building blocks for something else. Iñigo Martínez is hard to build on, but that's what I think. Normally, I'm a sort of guy that if I can get rid of a 33-year-old player, I think that's the most suitable thing to do. And always like bet on the youngsters, but he has completely shut my mouth because I was telling sell Iñigo Martínez.
You were one of those. You were one of those, weren't you?
Yeah, I was one of those. I'm looking always for a market opportunity. I'm that sort of guy, I'm the shark mentality type of guy. So it's
can I go ahead, Luca?
So I'm looking at Iñigo Martínez, and let's say now he has turned my head around. He got a goal. He got an assist. He put an incredible performance right now in this game against Deportivo Alavés. He's doing incredible business. Like, I'm really, really beyond surprised with Iñigo Martínez and beyond excited for what he can do this season.
Can I hit y'all with a hot take?
Go ahead.
I said, can I hit y'all with a hot take? I think...
Bro, we're a hype, man. Just go.
Here comes. I think when Araujo comes back and he's fully fit, I think he actually replaces Cubarsí and not Iñigo.
Yeah, I think so as well. I think Cubarsí is the guy right now who gets replaced. Like, I think Iñigo Martínez maintains his first team spot so far.
And we're forgetting about Christensen too.
Yeah, exactly.
But do you see what I mean? Like, there is
Christensen for me. Go ahead, Pablo.
No, sorry. I just like Flick's got a decision to make, and I think he doesn't. I think when you come in as a new manager and this guy has been your leader, your 33-year-old centre back, I think for Hansi Flick, like. For us, it's different because we know Araujo and Christensen's level. Of course, Flick knows them as players, but when all Flick knows at Barça is from Valencia onwards, do you get what I mean? And from that point, Iñigo Martínez has been his best centre-back. He doesn't have those preconceptions of who's the better player already. I think in his head, Iñigo Martínez is his guy. And I think it's going to be difficult for him to go, after you've been amazing, off you go. I just can't see it happening. I think he could stay in defence. I really do. Sorry, John.
Yeah. I'm with you on that. I think when we have those four center backs healthy, I think the starting pair is going to be Martínez, Araujo, and then Christensen and Cubarsí will be the second pairing. I think that's how it's going to end up. And that will change, of course, in the near future because, like we said, Martínez 33 years old, all those things. Which 33 is not that old, you guys. I just want to say that. Okay, 33 is not that old, right?
Anyway. I think that we also need to take a look at, like, for me, Gerard Martin, if he continues to play in the left back position, I'm not sure if I would, let's say, Bale gets injured. And we need to play, let's say, Bale gets injured and we need to play against Real Sociedad away at Anoeta on the 10th of November with someone playing the left back position. Like, would you put Iñigo Martínez there and just have somebody else in the center back position? Because I don't want Gerard Martin to play. Like maybe shift something around. Maybe the Hansi Flick try something because I'm not sure if I'm right now. We don't have anyone that can fit that position. It will be Héctor Fort, in my opinion. For me today, Héctor Fort's match against Alavés also proved that he could be a very reliable piece for the puzzle. But For me, Gerard Martin just with the I don't know what Flick sees in him. Like I really don't.
He loves him. I think Hector Ford can do a great job. I think he proved it in big games already last season at left back. I actually do. And again, he came in today. I didn't even realise he came in today. He was like, boop, it's just the same, And that's coming for Koundé as well, who we know is class. Probably our best defender. So, I really rate Hector Ford. I think he's underrated, actually, as a defender. So, I would put him left back. But I think Hansi Flick backs Gerard Martin.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. So, for me, I did make a note. And I think this is why you're seeing Balde have his time cut a little bit. I don't think Hansi Flick likes Balde's decision-making on the ball. I think Balde loses it far too often. He makes one too many dribbles and concedes possession. And I think that's got to be frustrating for Hansi. But that's why, for me, I don't know that Hansi has that much confidence in Balde.
I think at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter if he has the confidence because there's no one that can replace him in a sense. Like if we had somebody else in that position, he would probably be, like you say, replaced or whatnot. But right now, he's the literally only first team left back that we know has done it, has won a La Liga title, has been important in a sense, has gone to a World Cup. So it's like, yeah, he kind of is our established player there. So I don't think it's surprising because Alphonso Davies is very similar to Balde, and he loved Alphonso Davies. So we just have to see and work out how it would change because we also don't have our starting, like attack. For instance, maybe Rafinha will push a lot further forward once Dani Olmo comes back as a number 10. You never know. So it's like, for me, so far, no problem. Balde is a starter. I don't have no issues with it there. But like you say, it's true. I think Flick values Gerard Martin quite a lot and doesn't really value the creation that Balde brings to the team. But
yeah, you mentioned Rafinha. He's really been shifted around a lot throughout these last few matches. He'll start on the left wing, but we've seen him play underneath Lewandowski. We've seen him play on the right wing. We've seen him play a bit more of an interior position. For you guys right now, what is Rafinha's best position? Like if you started your lineup placing Rafinha in his best spot, where does he go?
For me right now, it's left wing.
I think it's the left wing. Yep, me too.
I think we saw that
even though he doesn't really place there.
But it is working well because we saw, obviously, against Alaves, he was going to be starting number 10 again. Ferran Torres left wing. Within 4 minutes, that changes. And Eric Garcia comes on and then Rafinha goes back to the left. And I mean, the impact he made was great. I remember I always worried when Lamine Yamal came through because I thought that could be the end of Rafinha. But how well has he taken up that left wing spot? I mean, he's just adapted to it perfectly.
Yeah.
And now he's one of the first names on the team sheet. I mean, I think he's got 12 goals and assists in 11 games so far this season for Barca. It's an absolutely ridiculous return. He's one of the best players in Europe right now. I think he's Brazil's best player right now. And I think he's just one of those. And he wasn't taken to the last international break, by the way. Can you believe it? Of a struggling Brazil side. But anyway.
He took 19 less games to have 20 assists for Barca. Then Bale took 19 games more.
I was I was just looking at that because that's what I saw on Twitter. The number of matches that it took him to get all those assists compared to Dembele, and people still want to be like, "Well, Dembele was carrying Barcelona after Messi." Get real, dude. Get real. Absolute nonsense. Pablo making a big claim there, saying Rafinha is Brazil's best player, though. I think that might
that's going to ruffle the feathers.
In.
No, I agree. I feel the same way. I think Rafinha is just delivering. I think that Rafinha is delivering to a level that Vinicius, Rodrigo right now aren't. Vinicius, of course, has that consistent because he's done it like 3 seasons in a row now. But I think that Rafinha at this level, like for me, this is what I always wondered when we signed players before. I don't know about you guys, but Barcelona were always used to signing players and then they become world class and elite at Barcelona. That's the sort of thing I used to remember, back in the days. And I feel that Rafinha finally is getting to that level, like he's already his third season in and he's like, bam, he's becoming that established right winger where you can go around and hopefully he gets a recognition by the end of the campaign where you name the best right wingers in the world and he's next to Salah, he's there, he's Rodrigo, he's up there in that top 5 debate. He needs to be there because he deserves to be there.
giving Rafinha some love. Another player that you love, Buga, you just mentioned, Ferran Torres, goes down injured. Early reports saying he's going to be out 3-4 weeks, maybe. That's what I saw at first, anyway. It looked like maybe a hamstring injury. What are we thinking for Ferran? Is he going to have a spot to come back to? Because by the time he comes back, am I right? We'll probably have Dani Olmo back. Frankie De Jong will be at fully fit. He'll be back in, I assume, the starting 11. Spots are running out. What's going to be Ferran Torres' role when he comes back?
I will summarize my point of view on Ferran on like just one phrase. I didn't notice Ferran got substituted like until the minute 20. I didn't notice. I absolutely didn't notice. Like, I genuinely didn't notice. I didn't notice that he got substituted. And that's what I think is the worst indictment of how impactful he is to the team. I think at the end of the day, like, I just don't know what has happened to him, because he is a player that realistically, I mean, I just feel that this formation doesn't really suit him in a way. I think he doesn't. I think the best position, he's the right winger and a front three, like you've seen for Spain, because he can just be that inside forward and attack. But Barcelona doesn't play that way. So right now I feel he's just like a body. And Hansi Flick recognized that, because he said, Ferran Torres, he's out, and we have few players on the attacking positions. So he also see him as a body. And that's, I think, the worst thing you can have, honestly. Just be,
Yeah. I'm very curious to see how the rest of his season goes. There's so many players that are hitting their peak, that are playing their best under Hansi Flick. But Ferran Torres is one of the very few that isn't. And at some point, you say, okay, couldn't find his form under Xavi, couldn't find his form under Hansi Flick. Like, what is going to unlock, this potential that everybody sees in Ferran Torres? I'm at the point where I'll say I think this is his last year to prove himself. If he doesn't make something happen this season, I think it's going to be goodbye Ferran Torres.
Yeah, me too. I think this could be the last year of Ferran. It's unfortunate. I also do think that he should not be playing the left wing. Like, he needs to play on the right, or as a center forward, or behind the striker. Like, that's where he needs to be. And for me, what's the best role for Ferran actually? Is being the 12th man. Like, just coming in as coming out of the bench. Like, that's not a dude. That's not wrong. That's not bad. Chicharito made a name for himself for being just a substitute. Like, it's not bad to be It's not too bad to be a super sub, because he is a good super sub. Because at the end of the day, he does impact games when he comes in off the bench. Like, that is something you cannot deny. Like, that is a guarantee. I think you can say that's something that he does good. So for me, that would be it. For me, that would be his role. And I think I hope and anticipate that is his role. And it shouldn't be more, it shouldn't be less. It should be that.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Let him come off the bench for Lamine on that right wing. Let him play in the Copa del Rey. But yeah, I'm worried for him, is what I'll say. Like, I'm not a Ferran Torres hater by any means. I think he's actually done better than what people think he has up until this season. Like, if you look at the stats compared to some of the other forwards in the Xavi era, he wasn't that bad. He was hanging in there. So yeah, I'm with you on maybe a super sub performance, but we'll see.